The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. One political analyst says Bongbong Marcos inherited the political support base of President Duterte. In an interview with One News, ADR Stratbase Institute President Nindo Manhit said that the Duterte family's support for Marcos Jr. had an impact on his survey numbers.
Two forces of Marcos and Duterte coming together and building a strong coalition for Bongbong Marcos, and it came with it the coalition, the political coalition of President Duterte since 2016.
Manhit said that if Vice President Leni Robredo wins, the country's elections will never be the same again. This as he notes how social media took center stage in this year's polls compared to mainstream media.
What is being driven now is an alternative way of generating support. 21% of Filipinos are being influenced by social media engagements and discourse. And we have seen how Marcos was dominating it from October, November, December, up to March. But when we hit April, we saw VP Leni, even as early as late March, overtaking Marcos in social media.
The camp of Vice President Leni Robredo says they are overwhelmed by the number of supporters showing up in their campaign rallies. Robredo spokesperson Attorney Barry Gutierrez said the turnout of kakampings in grand rallies was something they had hoped for. However, he said they did not expect that their hopes would actually come true.
Huge turnout, I think, is simply proof of what we have been saying all along. This has really blossomed into a people's movement. And the organic support for VP Leni, particularly in her own province, but in all other places she has gone to, is seen in these huge crowds.
Now, as the campaign period ends, VP Leni heads back to her home province in Naga to take a rest and get ready to cast her vote.
Since it's Sunday and Mother's Day, it will be a time to spend a bit of time with her family, to pray and go to church in preparation for May 9.
The camp of Bongbong Marcos thanked President Duterte for saying that the Marcos family has no ill-gotten wealth. This comes after President Duterte said that Marcos is living a simple life and the government has never found any ill-gotten wealth supposedly amassed by the Marcoses. Now, this despite the Supreme Court ruling in favor of the government in a case to recover some of the Marcoses' ill-gotten wealth. Now, Marcos Jr. spokesperson Attorney Vic Rodriguez claims that the claims of the Marcos' ill-gotten wealth are all just fake news.
Salamat kami at yun naman ang lagi namin sinasabi, and history is judging the Marcoses kindly because we have all been a victim of fake and false news.
Rodriguez is also asking all of Marcos Jr. supporters to vote early tomorrow.
Ang pinakamahalagang survey ay sa darating na Lunes, May 9, kaya po kami ay nananawagan. Bumoto po tayo ng maaga sa May 9 at sama-sama po tayo maging vigilant, mapagmatsyag, mapagbantay at bantayan po natin ang ating boto at ang bilangan.
And we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Gabriela party list says the COMELEC resolution disqualifying the party and Makabayan party list is fake news. Gabriela party list representative Arlene Brosas said that this is just desperation to drop the party. Brosas also clarified that the disqualification case against Bayan Muna was already dismissed in 2020. With this, they are urging authorities to investigate the source of the fake news against the Makabayan bloc. The COMELEC is reminding Filipinos of some changes in voting process come election day. Find out more in this report by Greg Gregorio.
Despite the pandemic, some 65 million registered voters are expected to cast their ballots on Monday. With this comes changes in the voting process. COMELEC reminds everyone that they have to undergo temperature check before entering the polling center. Those with high temperature will be asked to rest for a bit. Should the temperature not go down, that's when they will proceed to the isolation polling percent to vote.
Maliban doon sa tinatawag nating voters assistance desk, iba pa yung medical assistance desk para daw yung may mga nakita na maaari may simptomas ng COVID-19 ay mabigyan din ng karampatang treatment.
Voters can go straight to the voters assistance desk to know his or her polling percent. Once verified, a ballot, a secrecy folder, and a marking pen will be handed out. Voters need not to present vaccination cards or negative test results.
Kahit hindi ka vaccinated or fully vaccinated, you can vote. You don't need to bring any identification ID. Provided lang kapag may challenge sa'yo, then that's the time hanapan ka ng ID.
Voters can undervote or vote less than the suggested number of candidates. Voters also do not have to worry about the ink blotting on the other side of the page.
Fake news yan. Kasi kapag tinignan mo yung balota, yung bilog sa likod, hindi naman siya tatama sa bilog din sa kapila.
A cheat sheet or a list of your chosen candidates is advised, as using cell phones inside the precinct is prohibited. Also not allowed is campaigning for anyone on May 9, while voters can still wear the color of their preferred candidate. Their clothes should not bear anything linked to the candidate. Once voting is done, COMELEC advises everyone to go home immediately to avoid crowd exposure. The Commission also assured that power supply will be sufficient and that Meralco has deployed generator sets in the event of sudden power interruption. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.